happens to be the mother of my child, you know, how you went out on me and made a mockery of the situation that really helped you, I can't fuck with it. But peace and blessings. I'm at a place now in my life that, you know what, do what you gotta do, man. That God handles all things. It's unfortunate that we wasn't able to go down this journey. Whatever part of the journey that I was essentially part of, I'm happy for, and do what you need to do. God will work everything out. But was it cool that you got on the air and made a mockery of the whole thing when you was part of it and you knew the family structure that was being instituted? And you know what? Regardless of my own actions, you know, there's a certain code amongst men.
Right.
And I just
So
feel.
you saying he knew about the mother of your child relationship and then turned around and.
He introduced me to her.
Wow.
I mean, I ain't gonna fault him for that. Like, I'm my own man.
Yeah, I mean, it is up to you if you take it any further.
What I will say is, I have a blood little brother. And me and my blood brother, we don't always see eye to eye all the time. But, and we actually don't see eye to eye right now. But the envy and jealousy of what your little brother sees in terms of how you are, how your fly is, what kind of girls you pull, you know, either they could be looking up to you and like, damn, you know, I want to be like that, or they could be envious to a point where I want what he wants. Now, I've had my own little brother after I've broken up with girls, and girls who want to get back at me circle back and try to talk to him to get shit and whatever, and he fall for it.
Right.
Because that's, you know, he felt at some point he could do that. In the case of Charlamagne, I feel like once he got a chance to glimpse in my life, and I was very sincerely vulnerable to thinking, yo, we on some G shit, like, you know, I would think that the actions of what I did would clearly show you that there's a lot of people, and you know, Choke, that no matter how talented this guy was, they would have never gave him. They would have never gave him an inch. Even the people he worked with, like they wouldn't. And you know, all I ever wanted for anybody who I represented from a managerial standpoint is for them to get their just due and they worth. I happen to be working with somebody that I have worked with somebody that they was trying to nickel and dime the situation all the way and slight the work. So I learned how to not take no. Sometimes when you're doing that and you're doing that for your family, when you're doing it for yourself, you ultimately work for your family and what you earn. But when you're really doing this for your family and your family's involved, you're not going to be as nice when somebody's trying to shortchange you. So my reputation of being that type of hardball guy, it supersedes what I really want or what I'm about. And for him to know what I've fought for him over the years to have, just my section of it, and for you to you know, put out all this material after the fact and try to turn all these people and, you know, wait until you know, and you know, tell me everything, let me find out everything after the fact of how you really felt, including how you felt about the girl outside of my relationship that I was feeling. Like, you introduced me to her, but you was feeling like, because she was feeling me, nah, that's not supposed to happen. You supposed to be, listen to me, understanding this nigga's married, you know what I'm saying? Don't keep it G with him, keep it G with me. And if you keep it that way, then we can really get this off and play the whole situation. See, that was the intention. And I didn't find this out until after everything kind of imploded and I got him out of my house.
Right.
I can't tell you why he got that animosity in him and shit, but I could just say, from a little brother standpoint, he couldn't take my lifestyle at the time. I'm driving Lamborghinis and Bentleys and shit to work, and I'm doing everything. I'm getting my hands on all the hottest shit. I'm fortunate to know some good people, and I'm doing me. But in the midst of doing me, I ain't never not look out for you, and that means taking you around to all the motherfuckers in the street that's throwing parties and whatever, and letting them know that it's my peoples. Like, he come through, even if he come through without me, make sure he good. You know, that type of shit. But you know what? God handles all things, man.
Yeah, I believe that.
And, you know, I wish him well. You know, I wish him well on his trajectory. You know what I'm saying? I wish him well. He know what it is. There was a time where I didn't wish him well.
Right.
But now I'm man enough to be like, you know what?
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like, that's what I fell back off of. It's like you sit back and you know what you contributed to people's success, and you see how they get where they get and what they do for you and what you done for them.
I mean, I take it, you know, even with the Wendy shit, like, at the end of the day, the most hurtful thing was like, yo, okay, we want to be going through a personal situation, and it's unfortunate. And me and you know what that's about. And, you know, people fall in love and out of love every day, for whatever reason.
Right.
It didn't call for all the extra antics. And I understand, you know, when people hit me and say, oh, you did this to her, whatever, whatever. No, because we could have handled this a whole different way. What people don't know what the backstory is that it may have been brewing, and there was times like when my son almost died that I was not ready. I wasn't trying to go back. You know, like when I come back from Honduras and saving his life when he was 14, now he's 22, I felt like I don't want to do that no more. I just want to be the guy in your life. We need to get this house in order. Some traumatic just happened. Fuck that show. Like, not fuck it. I know it's a big part of livelihood, but in terms of for me,
Yeah.
I think we need to just go back to regular type stuff. Not leave the show, but I need to go this way so you know what you need to get ready for and understand our dynamic. Yeah. And I allow myself, because of the vulnerability of a person and what the helplessness somewhat of a person, to stay. And it didn't do nothing good for me. And at the end of the day, when she had the opportunity to hold me down, even in the midst of the turmoil, and I know a lot of women be like, well, why should she hold you down? Because of what the fuck I did.
Right. Right.
Because of what I sacrificed. Because we know that there were times that clearly, I don't know if you would have did the same thing for me that I did for you, but you know what? It's okay, I'm the man of your life. Hopefully I'm showing you some type of integrity that'll rub off, that she realizes, like, she know, even with all the trappings or whatever, I played the back. I didn't do stuff like this because it was all about you. You are the focus.
Right.
And I just would have appreciated that, with respect to all parties involved, that she would have took a higher road and not let people influence her while she was at her most vulnerable state. Don't get me wrong now, and I want to state this for the record. When she came out of rehab before going to the sober house, the people said, you got to change your whole environment. You got to become, they basically said in but so many words, in order for this to work for you and you to soar and enjoy life, you have to change your trajectory of how you feel about stuff and not be so negative, because you are healing from something severe. So that means all the negativity and the demons and whatever around you, you got to get it. And if that was me, then okay, I could go. But I clearly had plans on letting a lot of people at that production that worked for the show firsthand. I was like, they got to go. They're not really about what we doing. They just there, and they going through the motions, and they keep promoting the one thing that is part of your demise. And you know, you could turn, like we need to celebrate our people a little bit more and not be like the ones that, you know, tear them down all the time. Right. And there was a time where they didn't want to hear about the hip hop culture. And I was bringing it up in Hot Topics meetings, like, why are we talking about it? Then the next 2 seasons, the whole Hot Topics is about Nicki Minaj, this, that, whatever. And when it came down to what happened with me and her, I feel like the best thing should have been not to address it as much and giving her the room to still relish in the pain. Instead, they threw gas on her, and everybody who they invited was coached to bring up Kevin, and so she can react.
Right.
Even down to Andy Cohen.
Right.
On a birthday show, bring up Kevin.
Right.
And it's like, okay, Kevin did something, and we know personally we're not gonna be together, but what does that have to do with the professional side? I mean, basically getting fired because I got a divorce. That's really what it was. It's not even wrongful termination. I got fired because I got a divorce. I got fired serve divorce papers, and fire from management all in the same day. And there was times before that I said, because of what my actions was, I wanted to step down. Like, look, I'll step down. You do what you got to do. We don't have to make this as loud. I don't want to disrupt. You've been through enough already.
Right.
I'm trying not to be more of a disruptor. And I feel like they could have helped with respect, even if they hated how I had to do my tactics sometimes with them, because this is my family, and I had to fight for every iota of what you see that's fly on there, and trying to cover the right stories and try to project the evolution of not just her, but the culture that she's bringing into daytime. Because you didn't see a bunch of hip-hop performers on The View prior to her being there. But once we changed the dynamic, and I had a bunch of people and creatives telling me, oh, music doesn't resonate on television. You know why? But this is where she comes from. So when we did it, it changed the game. And what they could have did was focus on making that great. Instead of exploiting a scandal like they did for the movie, which did not detail shit about the struggle. You was there to see the whole struggle, right, and the monumental moments, you know, past the puffy moments and whatever. You're talking about somebody that was TMZ before they was TMZ, right, or the internet.
Well, I mean, you still, regardless how things ended, you, Wendy, y'all still got a lot.
We still talking about Wendy. Why we still talking about?
No, I'm just talking about the and wrapping up the Wendy show. I'm saying, regardless of how things ended, y'all still have a lot to be proud of. You accomplished stuff that other people haven't accomplished in television and radio to this day. You agree, right?
I agree. I agree that was definitely a part of my legacy. That for a good part of it, I'm proud of it. Because coming from Brownsville, Brooklyn, with a 10th grade education and a GED.
So, y'all, this is part one with my interview with Kev Hunter. We're going to come back with another one and talk about all the stuff that's in the future to come. You know what I'm saying? Any shout-outs real quick?
Thank you to all the supporters. Thank you for everybody that know the real story. The story is coming soon. I do plan on doing a book at some point, but it's not going to be primarily about this. But I just appreciate the whole Brooklyn, Brownsville, my partners, and everybody out there. All the supportive women too, and at realkelvinhunter.com on Instagram.
Choke, no joke. You know what it is. Yo, y'all niggas better stay DL. Down low. Stop flossing, man. You just want them to just come and get you. Learn from our mistakes, man. That's what this is about. Learn from mistakes. Choke, no joke. Let's go. You already know. Make it low, let's go. My aim was enlightened. Drop jewels on you. You thinking I'm jealous? I ain't got cheddar like you. I'm the dude to a game you got school.